So today is 1/17/17. And Hardy-Weinberg says that populations get jolted out of equilibrium if there's natural selection going on. And so just to kind of refresh us on natural selection, everyone's different, life is hard, many die young, but those with an edge survive. Natural selection changes distributions. It shifts distributions. And there are 3 ways that it does that. Do you remember any of them from the video with Hank? One starts with an N. No? 2 of them start with D's. It's okay. We're gonna look at them some more. So that's natural selection. Now, what we're going to do together is a little activity. To demonstrate natural selection happening in a population. So it just so happens that there was an island many, many years ago in a galaxy far, far away. No, in an ocean far, far away. Little island, little trees, whatever. And calamity occurred. Catastrophe, disaster, volcanic activity. Creating a mountain range right in the middle of the island, so that the west side of the island and the east side of the island were no longer accessible from the other. No traffic was possible between the east side of the island and the west side of the island. Again, tragedy, disaster, catastrophe. Well, it just so happened that there isn't a whole lot of life on this island. There are some plants. There's really only one animal species. They're called clip birds. And they have some rather unusual characteristics. They have a big variation in beak size, bill size. So you have some clip birds that have really large beaks. Okay? Pretty big birds in general. It's a terrible bird. I apologize. And you have some clip birds that have sort of medium beaks. And then you have, and they're adorable, clip birds with these little teeny tiny beaks. So we have large, that doesn't even look like a beak. I don't know what it looks like. It's a wart of some sort on its face. No, it's supposed to be a beak. Let me fix that. There. So you have small, medium, and large clip birds. And they all live on this island. And they used to all be members of the same species that lived in one place and were capable of reproduction, capable of interbreeding. What is that? Members of one species that live in a particular place that are capable of interbreeding. A population. So they used to all be one population, one great big population. Well, now with this, giant volcanic mountain range in the middle of the island, and they can't fly, they're flightless birds like ostriches or dodos, and they can't swim, not like penguins, they just kind of waddle around. They can't go from one side of the island to the other. So instead of one population, now how many populations do we have? Since they can't get to one another to interbreed, we have 2 distinct populations. We have the western clipbirds and the eastern clipbirds. And never the twain shall meet. They cannot interact, they cannot get food from the other side of the island, and they can't interbreed. So, when this happened, of course, it was all one island. The plant life on the island was pretty similar, and the birds were pretty similar. So I'm going to set up our clipbirds. And on each of the islands, starting out, we have different kinds of food. We have marble fruit. Those are the marbles. We have big toot fruit. Those are the things that look shockingly like lima beans, dried lima beans. And we have tiny toot fruit, which are the things that look shockingly like popcorn. So the distribution of food east and west is pretty similar. You can see that. I mean, they're the same island. You just magically grew a mountain range. Well, not magically. It's plate tectonics, whatever. Cool. And just like food that you're familiar with, different kinds of food has different caloric values. And you can guess that the marbles have more calories than the popcorn. The big marble fruit has more calories than the tiny toot fruit. Okay. So, you guys and you guys are the western side of the island. You guys and you guys are the eastern side of the island. Now, funny thing about the clipbirds. We've talked a little bit about in here before that the bigger your body is, the more calories you need to maintain it. We talked about the guy who's 8 feet tall, tallest man ever recorded, and he required a lot more calories than somebody who is 4'9". So big-billed clipbirds actually require more calories than little-billed clipbirds. And you also know that it takes some number of calories just to survive every day, but it takes even more calories than that to be able to reproduce. We're going to get to that. So at this time, I would like to invite everybody who I just gave a cup and a clip to come stand with their toes around the edge of the feeding grounds. Everybody else you're going to watch, you will get to be clipbirds too, trust me. Clipbirds. Clipbirds can only feed in one way. And that's by taking that clip, can I borrow your clip? Taking their bill and squeezing it, and mind you, I've got carpal tunnel and all sorts of other issues with my hands, but squeezing that clip and picking up food and putting it in their belly. They can't shovel. Their cup must remain upright. Hey, listen. Their cup must remain upright at all times. If I catch you cheating, I will throw you out and give you a 0 for the activity. So you have to pick it up like this and put it in your belly. Your cup is the belly. You'll get 60 seconds to, and then you throw your clip. Hopefully not. You're going to get 60 seconds to feed, and then you're going to count up the calories that you've got.
Can we bend down?
You know what, I would advise that you're like on your knees or squatting down. You don't want to do this standing up.
Why not?
Take a knee. Take a knee. Or two. Or whatever works. We'll do a little 10-second practice round so that you get the feel of how this works. Now, do you think that it will be easier to get some kinds of food with some bills?
Yeah.
Maybe you have a bird feeder at home?
Yeah.
Yeah. Little tiny goldfinches, they're adorable. They're like this big. They've got little teeny tiny beaks, and they love little teeny thistle seeds. Blue jays, much larger, much more robust beak. They'll eat cracked corn. They'll eat sunflower seeds. They can crack just about anything. They'll crack open peanuts. I have seen blue jays crack open peanuts. Goldfinch can't do that. Similarly, with the clipbirds, you may find that there are some kinds of food that are easier for you to get. Okay, we'll do a practice round. Go.
Oh, get in there. Whoa.
Sometimes they shoot across the floor. It does happen. Okay, stop. You get a sense of how easy or how difficult this is going to be, right? So dump your food back in the center. Dump your food in the center. Don't stockpile it over by you. That's cheating. All right. So first, let's get a quick population count as we start our first round. we should have 2 small bills. In the West, we should have 2, 2, and 2. Yes? Confirm our numbers? Okay, I'm going to give you 60 seconds so everybody bills up. You're ready. You're in feeding position. You're ready to get food. You got your belly in your other hand. Go.
You know what? How are you doing? I didn't expect that I would kill my dead. That probably hurt you quite a bit.
Things do, yep. Not experiment, it's just an activity. I'm getting that.
Okay, the line will do it.
Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Clips up. Clips up. Okay, now, as we mentioned, it takes different foods have different calorie values, and it takes different amounts of calories to survive depending on what kind of bird you are. So the marble fruit has 10 calories each. The big toot fruit, that's the stuff that looks remarkably like dried lima beans, has 5 calories each, and the tiny toot fruit, the popcorn, is only 2 calories apiece. So right now I want you to add up the calories that you have in your belly. And when you're done counting what's in... Daniel, count your calories.
I did.
Okay, you're done? Okay. You were medium? Okay. When you're done, put your food back in the bag. Okay, now, to survive, if you're a small-billed clipped bird, you only needed 25 calories to survive. A mere, 13 pieces of popcorn, you could make it. So, my small-billed, we'll start in the east, are my small-billed clippers. Do you have your calories added up? Okay. Oops, sorry, I almost nailed you, Maddie. Okay, so small-billed clipper, did you survive?
Yeah.
Did you have enough to reproduce? Yay! So we're going to end, you're still counting.
Do I just put this away?
Yes. And once you've got everything counted, please start putting away the stuff that's out in the feeding ground. Once you've got your own stuff counted, please put everything back into the bag.
What if we didn't get enough to survive then?
We're going to talk about that in a second. Okay, Maddie, Matt? I have like 7. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. You only need 50 to reproduce. Okay. East, both of our small clip birds survived. Aaron, you had more than enough to reproduce, so you each got to reproduce. So we start off with 4 small clip birds in this side. Okay, medium bills. Well, let's look at the small bills over here. Who are my small bills? Did you survive?
No.
Did you survive, Colton? None of you survived. Okay, how close? 24. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I have 22, so yeah.
Okay. Medium bills over here. Did you survive? Okay. Did you survive? Both of you survived. Did either of you have enough calories to reproduce? You had to reproduce, you had to get 100 calories. No? Okay. So one of you gets to reproduce. Choose somebody, that would be this Nate, because he's on your side of the island, to be your offspring. We've only got 3 people on this side of the island. I suspect we'll be bringing all of you into the game. Okay. So mediums, we start the next round with 3. Okay, mediums over here. Who survived? Okay, who's my other medium? Did you survive? You died. Okay, so we finished season 1. Okay, and one medium had enough calories to reproduce. So choose an offspring. You can choose Nate, Delaney, or Sage. Okay, so we start with 2 mediums. And Big Bills. Big Bill? Big Bill? Did you survive? Did you survive? 1 survived. Did you get enough calories? Whoops, did you get enough calories to reproduce? Awesome.
How many calories did you have to have?
Okay, so if you just mentally map those distributions, starting off, our distribution on both sides of the island was even. We had 2, 2, and 2. Has our distribution changed on the west? Yes. Did any kind of clipbird go extinct?
Yes.
Yes. Small-billed went extinct. Now, there was ample food for the small-billed clipbird. It wasn't because there wasn't food available. So maybe one of you had an injury this season, random chance. Something fell on your beak, you couldn't get seeds to crush. We don't know what it was, but it seems like there was plenty of food, so it was down to some sort of random event. And what would that be called if a random event causes something to go extinct? Genetic drift. Is this a large population, or you got genetic drift? Genetic drift, and this was a small starting population. We had a very small starting population. So genetic drift can play a big role. As a matter of fact, we had an entire type of clipbird go completely extinct. Did the distribution change in the east? Yeah, it did. In the east, suddenly we have twice as many small clipbirds, so it's very much skewed. And again, we had plenty of food of all types. Is all the seed put away?
Yeah.
Okay, so the environment changes sometimes. And now, in the west, we seem to have a lot more tiny toot fruit. And in the east, we seem to have a whole lot more marble fruit. So, go. And if you died, I'll take back your
Your belly.
your belly and your beak. Huh? Yep, thank you. Okay, thank you. Some serious competition, and sometimes they do that. Flips up. Okay, count your calories. Okay, we'll start in the east. It looks like you guys are pretty much tallied. Big Bills. Who are my Big Bills? Okay, did you survive? Are you the only Big Bill? No, you survived? Okay, did either of you get enough to reproduce? Okay, so we end with 2. We're going to start the next season with 3. If you're a big bill, you have to have 160. If you're a little tiny one, you have to have 50. Okay. No. Can you hand that to Justin? Or can you clean up so that he can hold on to that? Okay. So, I'll tell you what, Nate, I'm gonna recruit you over to the west. So, huh? Oh, okay. Okay, well, hold on, we're getting there. No, we're not doing that yet. I was going to do that in the west, actually, but I didn't. Okay, so medium bills in the east. Who are my medium bills? Clips up. And you died? Okay, and you died. Did you survive? You survived, but did you get enough to reproduce? Whoops. You had medium bill with 160? 116. So you are able to reproduce. And John, you died? And Nate, you died. Okay. Okay, so Nate and John, put your cups up here and have a seat. Yep, I do. Thank you. Okay, so mediums, we ended the season with 2, and we're going to go back with 3 because, here, pick an offspring. Who's my medium who reproduced? Okay, there we go, John. You're back in. Okay, you couldn't get out of it that easily. All right, small bills in the east. Okay, so how many small bills survived? Raise your hands. 3 survived. How many of you got enough calories to reproduce? Yes, yes, and yes. So we're going to go in with 6. So environments change, and, here's the thing. When the environment changes, it's kind of like you survive or you don't. You can't magically grow a bigger beak. Yeah, sadly no.
Steroids?
Nope. Okay. So, are you ready? Yeah. Flips up, belly's ready. I know, you're just toast. You have no chance.
I'm getting one.
Go. Okay. So, count your calories. Marbles are worth 10. Popcorn's worth 2. When you finish, put your food back in the bag.
Alright, this is going to be really died long before starvation.
Okay, in the east, we'll start with the east. How many small-billed clipbirds survived? 0. Put your bills in here and your stomach's piled up there. How many medium-billed clipbirds survived? 2 of you? And how many big-billed clipbirds survived?
To reproduce.
Okay, do you have enough to reproduce? Do you have enough to reproduce?
I died.
You died, okay. So, you could reproduce twice. Okay, I believe you. So go ahead and put your food back in the bag. Okay, in the west. And of the mediums, did either of you get enough to reproduce?
Yeah.
Yeah? You did? No? Okay. So we would end with 3. Okay. In the west, how many of... Oh, geez. How many of my mediums survived? You're all mediums. You all survived. Do any of you have enough calories to reproduce? All of you. Okay. Ooh, fantastic. Now, we had some strange stuff with genetic drift early on. In the west, we had small clipbirds go extinct when there was plenty of food for them. There was no selective pressure. Oh, sorry. There was no selective pressure against small beaks, but they went extinct anyway. Random chance, genetic drift. Nothing that had to do with the environment made them go extinct. However, in the east, what was happening to the food? So in the west, the food source was shifting towards smaller food. Much harder to sustain a larger clipbird, though those also went extinct, seemingly due to genetic drift. Oh, found another marble. Okay. It happens.
Shot Haley with this one.
Oh, boy. I'll be finding marbles for a week, I guarantee you. In the west, or in the east, what was happening to the food source? Yeah, the little tiny toot fruits were becoming harder and harder to find, and the marble fruit was becoming more and more abundant. Who does that favor? The big bills. Significantly. Yeah, a lot of the small bills just took one look at that and kind of went, oh, I'm dead. I can't eat, so I'm going to die. When faced with a change in environment, you either have a trait that allows you to survive or you don't. You can't make it up as you go, unfortunately. If we ran this scenario for 100 generations, which we're not going to, obviously, what would you expect to happen in the East? Would you expect the mediums to thrive? Would you expect the large bills to thrive? In the East, the large bills look like they're going to take it. The food is easy for them to eat. It's got enough calories to sustain them. Has the distribution shifted in the East? Yeah, it's totally skewed towards the up end now. in the West, we only have mediums. Now, somebody mentioned, can I be a genetic mutation? Is it possible that we would get occasional small and big bill mutations in the West? Yeah. Who would thrive in the West where all the food is tiny toot fruit? Small bills would tend to. So what we're going to look at tomorrow is the 3 types of selection, and we're going to talk a little bit more about which kind of selection we saw here. Remember, we had one unified population, and now we have 2 populations. And are those populations evolving in different directions? Yeah, they are. So we're going to talk tomorrow about the 3 kinds of selection. You'll have your notes back from the video at that point, and then we'll have a quiz over directional, disruptive, and normalizing selection. Okay, questions? Comments? Good hunting, guys. Good use of clip bills. It's not easy.